Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Natural Resources and Forestry. Mr. Speaker, the government has unilaterally decided to close the Ontario tree seed plant in Angus without any consultation. It was only after the government announced the closure that the ministry held a public meeting, and at another meeting between stakeholders and the Deputy Minister, those working in the industry urged the government to delay the closure for 3 to 5 years to allow them time to transition. Despite this advice, the ministry is going ahead with their closure date in 9 months' time. The minister is on record stating that the government will work with its partners to ensure a smooth transition, and yet tree growers and others in the industry say the closure date does not give them enough time. In fact, plans to sell Ontario's irreplaceable and priceless seed inventories are already underway. Mr. Speaker, there seems to be a disconnect here. Will the minister commit to working with these growers and other experts to find a solution that won't destroy yet another thriving industry in the province of Ontario?
Thank you. Minister.
Thank you very much, Speaker. And we continue to work with Rob Keane from Forest Ontario, as well as all the partners around the Ontario tree seed plant. We've continued to consult not just in my ministry office, but they met recently with my ministry team in our offices. We did not start consultation until we had been able to have a discussion with the employees. It was not appropriate to bring a public consultation ahead of time where the employees knew that there may be some changes down the way. Speaker, we continue to move towards a more efficient and modern seed archive. During the transition, we'll be encouraging new market opportunities for Ontario's nurseries to provide native seed to grow trees for the industry as well as the public. I want to let you know that there will be significant savings to Ontario taxpayers through reduced operating and capital costs as we transition to a new way of doing things.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Minister, back to the minister. The minister is assuming that the private sector will take over or be able to take over immediately. That means the private sector in 9 months has to build infrastructure, acquire an array of specialized equipment, hire and train technical staff to run the facility, all with a price tag of over $1 million. Growers in my riding tell me this simply isn't possible. These growers are the largest suppliers to tree planting programs across southern Ontario, and they're calling the ministry's plan both unreasonable and irresponsible. In Leeds-Grenville, 13 full-time jobs at the Ferguson Forest Centre and the $1 million it spends in the local economy each year are in jeopardy. On October 13th, the Ontario Tree Seed Coalition submitted a transition proposal that they've yet to receive a response to. Growers and the coalition are asking the government to accept the transition proposal and immediately establish a stakeholder group to work alongside ministry officials. Minister, you talk about significant savings to the taxpayers. With the billions of dollars you guys do in scandals, this thing's costing you $1 million a year. It's an irreplaceable, priceless collection of seeds. Some of these plants are extinct. Why are you trying to destroy that?
Minister.
Thank you, Speaker. I'd just like to point out to the member opposite, it was his party who in 1996 opened our province's provincial nursery program for privatization and put the Ontario tree seed plant in this position in the first place. We have had 2 recent public meetings in that community to talk about all options going forward. All options continue to be on the table to make sure that we are moving from a facility. It makes no sense to continue to operate at such a large one. We will be transitioning new market opportunities for Ontario's nurseries. As I said, all options continue to be on the table. We do continue to consult. We've had 2 recent public meetings. We are developing new policies like the new seed zone policy, creating a modern seed archive that will continue to make sure that we can continue to provide the seeds for Ontario's forests moving forward. Thank you.